Guys, today Panda isn't here. I'm Cameron with you. So Panda went to France yesterday. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to play chess. Actually, we already learned. Panda said you already learned how to play chess, how to move pieces, and the power of pieces. And yesterday, Panda played a game, so it's Panda's profile, and Panda said he's gonna beat me. But let's see his rating here. My rating is 1700. Panda's rating is, let's see, where is the rating? So the so Panda played a game today, and we're gonna analyze it. He played a blitz game. So there's several types of chess. Blitz is a fast chess. You play faster. You don't because you have less time. And a rapid is longer. You have time to think. And classic games are 1.5 hour, 1 hour and 30 minutes, and classical games. You can play classical games on chess.com. You only can play classical games on real life or on Chess. I guess that's wow. Panda won 4 times in a row. So his rating is 944. My rating is 1500, 1700. So there's a big difference. Let's see. But I think Panda cannot beat me. You know, I taught Panda how to play. So let's go to the um go to the game. So guys, in the previous lesson, Panda taught you how to play chess. You should know the pieces name, and you should know the uh you should know other things. So let's make that bigger. Okay, guys, let's move me here. I think it's recording. I really hope. Yeah, it's recording. Let's start the game. So, Panda playing in black, and his opponent is Aminish Aki from Turkey. So every chess game has its opening. So first 5 moves or 6 moves, it's called opening. So that's the opening of the game. Uh, that four. Sorry, that four. That four square that called center of the board. So you should always put your pawns on the center as uh, Panda did. It depends on the situation. If you can, you should attack to the center squares. So center squares are that four. Oops, that four. Uh, if you look to my mouse, you can see that two. Um, that four squares are center, so you should always take center. Not always, but most of the time if you can. Because if you move your two that pawns, you can activate that two pieces. So it's very important. I guess that lesson gonna be two-part because I cannot upload or Panda cannot upload videos more than 15 minutes. So 15 minutes is gonna be 13 minutes. They're gonna be two parts. I strongly encourage you to watch the second part as well. So um, let's see. So let's analyze the game. So that's the game, Panda. So the I think bishop moves diagonally, and the white move knight moves like a L shape. It goes two straight and one down, or two straight, right or left. That's the um, that's how we can move your Okay, move your knight. So that's the party, and let's move. Okay, why you will ask why you capture knight? Because capture knight and bishop are equal power. I mean, knight has three power as well as bishop. Bishop also has three power, so you can exchange uh, knight and bishop. That would be equal, right? You can see here, right? Here it says you have three plus, you have three power, and after capturing back, it shows nothing because the powers are equal now. So that's the queen. You know, queen moves everywhere. So, but you cannot go up, and you cannot move your king, or you cannot put your uh, piece onto your own piece, and you cannot jump over your pieces. It's impossible. For example, your queen cannot move here, or the queen cannot move here like an L shape. It cannot move like a knight. Only knight can move. Our horse can move like an L shape. So after that, Panda moved queen d6. I also want to tell you coordinates, chess coordinates. Uh, you can see here there are eight numbers and eight letters. So here, uh, you, in the classical games, if you play games like more than 1 hour, you can see like that letters and numbers here. It shows the movement of your pieces, and that d6 or xd2, they are they are coordinates. For example, I moved my queen to d vertical line. As you can see here, d vertical line. I moved my queen d vertical line and six horizontal line. I moved, and here it shows your queen moved to d6. Okay, always put your black pieces on the 7 and 8 horizontal lines, and always put your white pieces on 1 and 2 horizontal lines. You cannot put your black pieces onto 1 and 2 coordinates, because it would be inappropriate, and it would be hard to write down your movements. In the classical game, you write every move of yourself, and it's very important to know the coordinates. Uh, Here, chess.com shows your coordinates, and here you can see plus. It means check. You you can see here that bishop. It shows bishop d2, bishop b horizontal. Bishop was at b horizontal and four horizontal and b vertical, and it captured knight. And here you can see bishop here the vertical line and two horizontal line, and it shows that. And you attack to the king because a bishop can move vertical. Bishop always diagonal. A bishop always moves diagonal, so it attacks here. It attacks to the king, and you must, if something attacks your king, you must need to capture it, or you must need to move your king. If uh, as you see, as you see, the chess.com doesn't show any moves here. It says you cannot move your other pieces because here bishop attacks your king. You only can move your king, or you can capture the piece that attacking your king, right? That's the And white pieces took the bishop by queen. So I don't prefer getting by king, because if you move your king, you cannot make a castle. I'm gonna show how to make a castle in a moment, but let's see the part. So it captured again. I moved my queen, and all white also tries to control the center of the board. That's four square. They are center of the board. But and I Panda moved his black piece. I think that he thought he wants to attack in that side. He wants to move after white moves. He wants to move that one, and he want to activate his rook. Rook captures. Let me show. Let's say white moved his knight, and we moved. What kind of piece is that? Pause the video and guess. It's pawn. If you said uh, not, if you said something else, you're you're not doing well. Okay, you should know the name of the pieces and you should know how they move. Pawn moves only straight. At the beginning of its move, it can move two square, but after that, it can move only one square. And pawn captures diagonally. It captures like that. So white moved and black moved. The purpose of moving that piece pawn was at the future you want to move a4. So let's say white moves and moves. And after capturing, if you look here, the horizontal is open, the diagonal open, and it means the rook is active. Uh, I told you already, if the diagonal is open, bishop is active. You know, I mean, if my bishop was here, it wouldn't be active because, as you see, there's nowhere to move with my bishop. But my bishop is here, so it is active. It can move. It's controlling the diagonal. Okay, always put your pieces in active place. If pawns are covering the ways of your big pieces. I mean big pieces. By saying big pieces, I meant rook, queen, bishop, and knight. Your piece is probably inactive, so you should put your pieces in an open line in order to make them active, because that pieces can move freely. So that was the idea of moving a5. We don't say pawn a5. We just, as you see, it shows a5 because my a7 pawn moved to a vertical line and 5 horizontal line. So always keep in mind pawn can move 2 square at his first move. After that, it can only move 1 square. Okay? And the knight moved. That wasn't the line actually. Let me move to okay. We came back to the okay. Uh what was the move? Yeah, here. So after queen d4, queen d6, and pawn. I'm going to be talking with coordinates. Learn how to find the coordinates. It moved e3, e vertical line, and 3 horizontal line. So I told you how to teach Castellan. I moved my actually Panda moved his pawn as you see, but white can should it's you don't need to capture because if you capture, you're activating my rook, and white noticed that thing, and white didn't capture the pawn because pawn can capture diagonally or it can move. You don't have to capture all the time. You moved your pawn. And castle, that movement called castle, you put your king here and you always castle as fast as you can because if you castle, your king would be safe. As you see, I told you when the pieces are in the open line, open area, they are active, and that's why they are in danger too. And if your king is in open, it means it's opposite of the other pieces. You should put your king into an inactive area